I'm Tiege.
And I'm Gabby, and we're your well-informed girlfriends.
Yay! We are bringing you the stories that make you the smartest person at brunch, which is important.
Very important. Brunch is important.
You have to
Being
be.
smart at brunch, also important.
Big deal.
Big deal. This week we're talking about Lindsay Clancy trial, the internet theories surrounding it, whether Gen Z is basically giving up on dating, and why people are taking vacations to learn how to make wine and herd cattle. What? Why?
It's like, let me clock in.
Yeah,
on
the
my
wine,
vacay.
sure. Cattle, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
No.
We'll also be talking about the rise of the forever renter, why couples over 50 are calling it quits. Over 50, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. And why millennials used to dress like middle-aged managers to go to the club.
Guilty
as charged, and we will get into
so
it.
Guilty. And all that and so much more on this week's episode.
Okay, so this next story, the first story, is a heavy one.
It is a heavy one.
You're going to break it down.
Yes, it's a very heavy one. It's something that I feel like we've all been talking about.
Oh my gosh.
It's been on like the top of everyone's mind because it's so horrifying and it's so sad. So if you have been seeing the name Lindsay Clancy on your feed this week, her murder trial is underway in Massachusetts. It's become a huge conversation about postpartum mental health and also criminal responsibility. Now, if you don't know the full story, that's okay. We're going to catch you up right here. So Clancy was a nurse and mother of 3. In January of 2023, she killed her 3 young children and then attempted to take her own life by jumping from a second-story window. She survived, but is now paralyzed from the waist down. Her lawyers aren't arguing that she didn't kill the children. The question is whether she was criminally responsible when she did. Now, the prosecution says that it was deliberate and planned, including that she sent her husband out, creating an opportunity to be alone with the children. And the defense says that she was experiencing severe postpartum mental illness, including postpartum psychosis, and had been desperately trying to get help. Before the killing, she had seen multiple mental health providers, checked herself into psychiatric hospital, and called a suicide hotline. So both sides are looking at some of the same evidence completely differently. Prosecutors say it shows that she understood what she was doing. The defense says it shows that she knew something was seriously wrong with her mind and was trying to get help.
Oh my gosh, it's just so devastating. And then also we have to talk about the internet is
theories.
reacting to it, and it's crazy.
It is crazy.
So TikTok has really put on their investigative detective hats on this one.
As they do.
And there's basically a second trial happening on TikTok. So people online have been picking apart her husband, Patrick's testimony and phone records and timeline of his errands that night. And I have to say, I mean, there are some questions about the Patrick thing.
Yeah, there are.
Although I have to say so far there's no evidence that links the crimes and the murders of the children to Patrick. But, you know, people think Patrick was somehow involved in this.
Well, because that is usually how these cases go, right?
Right.
Like every case was something you hear this, not this exact, but something where the mother is involved. It usually has something to do with the husband and the husband having another relationship. And we're just so quick to not trust men because of their past.
Right. And history.
Yeah.
I think the thing, at least we're starting to have conversations about postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis. I mean, I think it's something that affects so many mothers, and for so long it's been stigmatized. People don't talk about it. They say it's normal. It's like just something you have to get over. But like now I feel like hopefully people start to realize how serious this is. I mean, people lose their mind.
Right.
And especially 3 children under 3. Like, I'm sure she's home alone a lot. He was going on a lot of ski trips and doing a lot of things outside of the house. She was also a nurse, which is a very stressful job. So obviously no excuse to ever do anything like this ever.
Right.
You know, if she was the one responsible, but which she is admitting. She is saying that she did it. But it also seems like she was out of her mind.
Well, and I mean, who wouldn't you if you were basically raising 3 children under 3 on your own while also working as a nurse? Like those are 2 very high pressure, crazy jobs.
Well, and also we have to mention she was on a ton of medication as well, which does totally alter your understanding of the world and the world around you.
Well, and that we are so quick to just throw pills at people instead of actually getting to the root of the problem. And they want, like Big Pharma wants people to be dependent on these medications. And sometimes you can take too much and something like this could happen.
Yeah. And I feel so bad that she didn't have, I mean, maybe she did, but they just like weren't there that day. Like she didn't have enough support around, you know, like I feel so bad that she wasn't able to like take a breath, take a breather, and like leave the situation before something went wrong. It's so sad too, because it's like she clearly needed help. She wasn't not seeking it out. She wasn't even trying to tough it out. She was going to doctors. She was trying to do all the right things. So to see this happen, it's just like, oh, it's so devastating. And then having to listen to her cry in the courtroom when they detail the children's deaths.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so, it's obvious that she obviously didn't want that to happen.
Right.
And so it's just like, oh, it's so hard to watch.
It's so sad. It's so devastating. And yeah, I think it's a much bigger conversation about postpartum depression and like how we just also the decision to have children, like, you know, like being in a place where you actually can have children and that you have the support from your partner. And if you don't have the support from your partner, someone else is there. I think that, you know, the whole women being the caretakers comes from a time when women weren't working.
Exactly.
So to have two people that are both doing full-time jobs, why is the responsibility still on the woman?
It's always going to fall.
It's always,
on the
and
woman.
that's not something that, you know, we can find him guilty of, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
like
yeah. It's interesting, and hopefully, you know, it opens up doors for people to get more resources and help when they need it, because, scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that incredibly dark story.
So dark.
I'm
so
sorry.
Dark,
We
so
started
haunting.
there, but don't worry,
So
it'll
sad.
get more fun.
Yes, more fun.
After that incredibly dark story, let's discuss something lower stakes, okay? Apparently young people are no longer kissing.
That's so weird. How do you know you like someone if you're not kissing them?
Okay, so, and here's the thing, like millennials, they kissed everybody.
Yeah, we made out. Like what?
Yeah.
I miss the good makeouts. That's everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So The Guardian just published a piece asking whether we're witnessing the, quote, death of kissing.
Okay.
So a YouGov survey found more than a third of British adults say they kiss less often than they did 5 years ago. And the story connects it to younger people having less romantic experience overall.
Right.
This pandemic era socialization that they kind of like didn't get that time to like do those formative relationships, maybe romantic relationships. Also, they talk about the fear of rejection, this digital life that we have, and increased self-awareness around initiating physical intimacy. So there's this also, we have to mention, a broader romance gap happening. So one US survey found that 44% of Gen Z men reported having no romantic relationships during their teen years. No romantic relationships. That's crazy.
That is crazy. I love how it's just men, though. What about women?
Well, I have a feeling it's similar. I have a feeling those numbers are similar.
Well, this is like the male loneliness epidemic, right?
Yes.
Which is like, I do kind of feel like it's a little self-inflicted.
Well, but also like, I think there's like a myriad of reasons why this has happened.
Right.
We can talk about social media. We can talk about the pandemic. We can talk about, you know, I just feel like they're growing up. Maybe it's just like, even we had like prolonged childhoods, right? We stretched that out. And I feel like they're doing it as well. Like, I feel like I have a lot of kids that I work with, 22, 23, who have never dated anyone ever, who have never been in a relationship, who have never had a serious boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm like, you graduated college and you never dated anybody.
What were they doing in college?
I guess going to class.
That's so boring.
I know. And it is just funny. I feel like millennials, like they don't have, or at least from my experience, like we were never like weird or like people made out all the time.
Well, and also it's funny because I remember like we used to call it hooking up, but then hooking up was confusing because it's like, well, do you mean making out or do you mean having sex? Because it had the same terminology. But like, I feel like that was such a big, well, maybe it's like dances. I think a big part, like a lot of like first kisses happened at like dances, and then maybe like Gen Z like didn't have in person prom because of the pandemic.
Right. Maybe
and
that's
we're
a part
missing out
of
on
it.
these milestones because I feel like that was really where like, well, it was grinding on the dance floor, but grinding and making out was like a big thing. And also going to a summer camp and having like socials with like the boys camp. That was like a big makeout
opportunity. Yeah, I do feel like it's a bummer that these kids aren't getting to experience romance. But maybe it'll just happen later. I don't know.
Maybe. But then also that also makes you wonder, does that mean that marriage rates are going to go down? Because how could you, if you've never been in a relationship, how could you then expect to get married? Like it's like having 0 years of experience.
Yeah, or maybe they're just going to start later or they just don't get married. Like, I don't know.
Do they want to make out? Like that's my question.
The thing too. Well, you know, I think so much of it is the social media thing too. Like all these parasocial relationships we have with people, or these like digital relationships that feel real but are not, you know.
It would be interesting to be like, they are not making out, but they are sending nudes. Because like, yeah, you're right. Because I guarantee almost like we got a little bit of this as millennials with AOL, right?
Yes,
so we had a lot of like, I actually met my high school boyfriend on AOL. But he went to the
Hilarious.
same high school as me, but we were set up. We got each other's screen names. And I think like that's probably how a lot of these relationships are. And I remember from dating, you could be digitally connected to someone and never see them in real life.
100%. I mean, that happened when in like early days of Instagram. That was like on Snapchat. Like I was not really a Snapchat person, but I know the kids are on Snapchat still. The kids are on Snapchat. My niece is all on Snapchat all day. They're snapping pictures of the wall. I'm like, for what?
For what?
But I think it's all, I think there's an element of that that's like, you send it to your crush.
Right. You send it to, Well, you could be like best friends on Snapchat. You could have like a Snapchat streak and all that stuff. So I think that's probably part of it.
That is crazy. And that does bring us to the next story, which is that Gen Z doesn't hate romance, but maybe they just can't afford it.
Right? Because
in this
economy, dating in this economy, more than half of unmarried adults ages 22 to 35 say not having enough money is their biggest barrier to dating, according to research cited by the New York Times. Now, it's inexpensive cities. A first date can mean dinner, a $20 cocktail, an Uber to and from the place. Now you're spending $150 on someone you're not even sure you like.
That is pretty crazy. I will say there are cheap dates. You know, you can go to a picnic. You can like go to get Trader Joe's cheese and a blanket. And I think that's really cute and fun too. But I have to say, and I hate to keep talking about social media, I think all these girls watch videos of content online being like, if he likes you, he's going to do this. Right. He's going to take you here and he's going to spend this. Like, I feel like there's a lot of like negative content around like what a guy should do when you're dating.
Well, yeah, I think there's too much pressure on the first date. And I think that if you're meeting someone online, you should not be spending a lot of money. I think the first date is more of a vibe check. And I think it could be a phone call. It could be a FaceTime.
Always freak me out.
But I think you should, but then because you could have a phone call with someone and then decide, I actually don't want to meet you in person. And then you just save yourself a ton of time and money.
No, you're right.
Or FaceTime. You could like FaceTime and see what they look like and be like, because my dad's dating. My dad's, he's a recent widower. My mom's dead. So my dad, it's okay. So my dad is like dating for the first time since the 70s. And so how he's approaching dating, and maybe this is a boomer thing, but he is having phone calls with his dates before he meets them in person. And a lot of times he won't meet them in person because there's not a connection. And I think that's smart. And I think maybe it's not phone calls, but there should be some like audition in a way before you go on the first date. And if that doesn't exist, then your first date should be super low stakes.
Yeah. See, for me, like I love going all in. Like I love like a fun like dinner. We're committing to doing this. And like I think it's just like fun to take that risk and take that chance. But I do understand the responsibility in a phone call. But I have to say, any guy that's ever been like, let's have a phone call or FaceTime first, like it gives me the ick. But it gives me the ick because I'm kind of like, and why do I have to like prove myself? It's like to me, like think that's like the psychology behind it.
Then I guess I would say that I think
committing, a song and dance.
I think committing to a dinner is a lot. I think a first date should be like a coffee or a drink with the opportunity to turn into a dinner.
For sure.
I think that's the issue with dating today is that people are overcommitting with a stranger, a literal stranger they met on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think probably a lot of it is because like they just think that that's the girls are like, that's what I should be doing. Yeah, like that's what I should be expecting when dating. I
think that's wrong though. And I think that guys that do that, it's like oftentimes they're like hiding something. It's like, well, why are we going above and beyond with a stranger? Yeah. Like it's weird. I don't know.
I like a dinner date, but I get it.
Yeah.
And also it sometimes doesn't go well. I have to say.
And then you're sitting having dinner with someone when you could just be home by yourself eating dinner. And it's like, and you got all dressed up and you're like, why did I get all dressed up for this person?
That is annoying actually. Cause then you're sitting there like, and I would like to be watching 90 Day Fiancé.
And it's your free time.
I want to go to Taco Bell.
It's your free time. It's not like, I think our time is so valuable and and our money is valuable when we have less of it. So we should, think before we commit to an expensive date, but still go on the dates.
Go on the dates.
But
this also brings us to a new term that's been floating around the internet. Have you heard of this? It's a reference to ROI, return on investment. But it's ROE mancing. So return on
mancing.
Yes, romancing, return on emotional investment. So basically people are starting to approach relationships the way that they're approaching everything else.
Okay.
Is it worth my time, money, and emotional energy?
Sure.
So you kind of like before you go on the date, you have to consider your ROI. Like, is there going to be a return? But it's also like I think that's taking it too much. That's thinking about it too much, right?
Yes and no, because I think that we entertain people in dating that we know we will never be with because of those things. Like if something is really important to you and now you have the information on dating apps, you can see people's political affiliation. You could see certain things. So if you see something that you don't want to date someone because it has X, Y, and Z, why are we spending time on this,
No, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I do appreciate apps like Hinge that really just do a lot of the investigative work for you. You're like, great. Now I didn't even have to look that up. Like I didn't have to go through any high school yearbooks and figure out. But yeah, I do think, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. You have to kind of consider, especially again, when you're talking about time, money, energy.
Right. And if I think there's less of it. And then also, we're like, when you're in the time when you're single, there's also limited time you have to spend with your friends. So do you want to be, like, I spent all my 20s dating and I wish I didn't. Like, I wish I spent more time just like being in my 20s and like not worrying what like this guy said or thought. And I didn't meet my husband in my 20s. I met him in my 30s. So I do think that, like, I don't know. I think time is precious.
Totally. No, I agree. Okay, well, this brings us to our next story.
Yes.
Speaking about precious time.
Precious time, sure.
There is a new type of vacation people are taking.
I've heard of this.
Okay, and apparently going on vacation can no longer just be relaxing by the pool. Okay, it's no longer enough. One of the travel trends getting attention this year is called the Skillcations. Okay, so it's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of going somewhere purely to lie by the pool or sightsee, you travel somewhere specifically to learn a skill. Okay.
All right.
So think winemaking in Europe or beekeeping, kite surfing in Baja, horseback riding and ranching. Ranching is hilarious.
Ranching
it's like,
is
now
hilarious.
You're going to be milking the cow.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know about that.
So basically you come home with a tan and a new personality trait.
Okay.
Could you do this?
I think the key is you have to find the activity that you actually enjoy.
Care about.
Right? And care about. Like cooking. I took a cooking class on our honeymoon in Italy and that was wonderful. And it's a skill. I mean, I know how to cook, but I learned how to make an Italian dish that I still make today. So like that was very
cool.
And that was fun. But like I have like beekeeping is not interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like I would not want to do that. So I think, sure, this makes sense. I mean, it's like activities for your trip to do, but then are we planning our whole vacation around the skill or are we going places we want to go to and then we're going on like Airbnb experiences and kind of seeing what's there?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I will say I love the idea of this because as a girl who loves to be productive.
Yeah.
It's lovely to go somewhere and be like, and I learned this.
Yeah.
And then you can, bring it back.
Yeah, I like that.
So I do think it's fun. And I think if you can learn things while you're out and about, it feels like you're getting things done at the same time.
Yeah, but also relax.
Right, but also get a chance to
Vacations
relax.
should be fun.
Yeah.
They should not be stressful.
Yeah. And like being on the farm and ranching is kind of a hilarious concept.
Yeah, but if that's what you love and you're like really interested in that, sure. But like for me, that would make no sense.
Yeah.
Because I have no interest. And I would be lying to myself about that. Yeah.
Okay, what is this next story?
Well, so America's new generation of forever renters, which I fear I might be in this generation. So here's another interesting generational shift that we're seeing right now. Is more young Americans, they're starting to believe that they may never own a home, and some are embracing the label forever renters. Now, the biggest reason is obvious. The math ain't mathin', right?
Yeah.
Home prices have risen drastically, mortgage rates remain high, and even people with good jobs say saving for a down payment can feel impossible.
Right.
So instead of treating renting like a temporary stage before real adulthood, some millennials and Gen Zers are starting to build their lives around renting long term. And that changes more depending on where you live, right? Home ownership is traditionally being tied to when people get married, when they have kids, and most importantly, how Americans build wealth. But here's the part that I think is interesting. Is renting actually as financially irresponsible as we've always been told, right? Once you add mortgage interest, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and repairs, owning can actually cost significantly more than renting in some cities, particularly if you don't plan to stay put for a long time. And then on the other hand, homeowners have historically accumulated significantly more wealth because they're building equity over time. So maybe the question isn't, is renting throwing money away? Maybe the question is buying a house still the financial slam dunk previous generations told us it was?
It's interesting. I mean, I feel like this is happening more and more. There's something appealing about renting. It's like there's freedom in that, right? It's like I do not feel tied to this thing. If something goes wrong, I have someone to call. If something goes, like if this place goes up in flames, like I am not stressed as much. Obviously the things you own in the home or whatever.
Yeah.
But so I think it's interesting and I think it's cool to embrace it. But there's also, you would like to own something eventually once you figure out like where you want to be permanently. So it's kind of a bummer that it's just so hard for us to buy things now. But also, I have to say, the last question you raised, it's like, is it a financial slam dunk like it used to be? And I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, because I think when our parents were buying homes, like my parents, they bought this like an apartment in New York City in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
When it was like worth nothing. They ended up like combining units. So they ended up having this like beautiful penthouse apartment, Upper West Side of New York City.
Amazing.
Sold it and made a profit, made enough money for us to like, move to Connecticut and have a home in Connecticut. But then the house in Connecticut was like a maintenance nightmare, and was like towards like they were in that house for like 20 years and they had a hard time keeping up with payments and stuff. So I don't know. I think it kind of is a double-edged sword. And I think that we're living, I think in the 2000s, and now it's like, I don't know, are you really making money on property? Or was the opportunity to have like, was it buying property back when it was more affordable? And then now the cost, because like, I can't see the cost of, and we're in this like crisis right now. So there's a really good chance that you could buy a home now. And then when you sell it 10 years from now, it actually, maybe you spent more money because we're like in a recession,
right? And like that's the thing, like home prices aren't climbing like they were.
No,
like when our parents bought, it was like a small thing, and now their house is worth so much more,
right?
Which is why the boomers are controlling everything,
right? Yes,
but it's like when millennials are buying, like it might not be like you have to be in the house for probably 20 years, maybe, and then it might not be that big of a jump as far as like what it's worth. So who knows? I mean, obviously, it'll be, time will tell, but it just does seem like the margins are smaller than they used to be.
And I have a friend who owns a condo, and she is like currently can't be in her home because there is a leak or something, and it's her responsibility but it does seem like an issue with the building, but because she owns the unit and there's like the HOA and stuff,
there's nothing
she's
worse
like, and I feel like, HOA. And that happens all the time. That is what especially buying a home in Los Angeles, that's the reality of it, of what you can buy. Like even we rent, and our stove stopped working. Our landlord came and fixed it. But like maybe we would have bought a new stove that we didn't need to buy if we owned, because we wouldn't know what to do in that situation.
Right.
I don't know. It's things like that I think about a lot.
Totally. Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and it'll be interesting to see like what everything's worth in the next few years, and like honestly, what's even happening right now. Like, is this all a bubble, and like what's going to happen?
Yeah. Are we in the recession forever? Like.
It's like every year you can point to like some sort of financial catastrophic
crisis,
event.
Like what's going on.
We'll see. Speaking of crises. The next story I want to talk about is so interesting. Have you heard of this gray divorce?
Not until I read this document.
Yeah. So, if you think couples who make it to their 50s and 60s are staying together forever, which is kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Apparently, you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
So nearly 40% of divorces today involve people 50 and older. And while divorce has declined for many younger generations and younger age groups, it has continued rising among people 65 and up.
Interesting.
65 and up.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the reasons experts point to is simply that we're living longer. Yeah. So instead of getting to 60 and thinking, well, we've made it this far, people are starting to think, wait a second, I could have another 20, 30, or 40 years. Do I actually want to spend the rest of this time in this marriage?
Right.
So there's a term for this, and there's a term I love for the alternative, which is an empty shell marriage.
Okay.
So it essentially is a relationship that still exists structurally. Like you're married, you live together, you have a shared life, but the actual emotional connection and vitality of the marriage are gone. So previous generations may have been more willing to stay because of children, finances, we hear this all the time, religion, social expectations. But today's older adults increasingly seem to be saying, actually, I'm going to start over at 65.
That's interesting.
So I just find this fascinating because we spend so much time talking about, young people changing and dating and marriage, but maybe one of the biggest relationship shifts is actually happening among their parents.
Well, do they know that they're not kissing?
I don't think so. I think the 65
are they kissing? Are the boomers kissing? We need to know.
I think they definitely are. I think they were in the generation of like everybody was kissing all the time. I assume. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, why would you live the rest of your life miserable? Also, I feel like that age is probably around the age that your children have like grown up. They don't live at home anymore. So like it's just you and your partner. And if you are making each other miserable, why would you stay in that marriage?
And I guess that's the empty shell marriage.
Right.
It's just kind of like, this is a husk of what this was.
Right.
We're just like staying.
But also like, I do think that, you know, marriage changes over time. And I do think that like, to me, the most important thing in a marriage is companionship. And I think the older you are, that's more valuable.
Oh, totally.
But I also can see people being like, but if that companionship, if the person makes you more miserable than you have the companionship, life is too short and you might as well just get out of there.
Start over.
And go on
Our
Hinge.
Time.
Yeah,
our
time. That's
time.
what my dad's on. Our time.
Hinge for the
it's our time.
Boomers.
That's what they're on. And a lot of the women that he finds on there are either also widows or they're divorced. A lot of divorcees on those dating apps.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. I wonder if they're getting married or they're just dating.
I don't know. My dad's 80, so he's like, I wouldn't get married. And I was like, well, you don't know if it's really important to the person you're dating, then it's like, what does it matter, right?
Yeah, right.
But I think there are, because I think people are getting married later, especially if it means something to them or they didn't like their first marriage and they want to, or their first wedding.
Actually. Yeah, because everybody just like should be happy, you know?
Right, exactly.
Like, do whatever.
Exactly.
Wow. Totally. Okay. Well, one of our final stories, we're almost done. We want to talk really quickly about dopamine decor. Have you heard of this?
So actually, I have two friends that I haven't heard of this, but their entire place is dopamine decor. It's all maximalism.
Yes.
It's all like disco balls, bright colors, and it does make you happy every time you walk into their place or I see pictures of their place on social media. Yeah,
it's interesting. So dopamine decor is this new trend that is going on where you're picking decor that makes you happy. So it's bright colors, it's eye-catching patterns and bold paint everywhere.
I love it.
It's kind of cool. Like it gives you a dopamine boost every time you go into your house instead of like gray neutrals, which is my vibe. I'm like
really white. Okay.
Pretty, like that's my vibe. But I understand the idea of a pop of color is kind of like, ooh, that's fun.
Well, also millennial gray, right? Like that was every house, every apartment had the gray floors and the gray ceiling, and like everything was gray. So I could see like a pop of color being really refreshing.
Yeah.
I think our home is pretty much dopamine decor to some extent.
It is, yeah.
Because I love like vintage, funky style.
Yeah.
But it does. You should love your home and you should be happy to come into your home. But if your joy is all white, which I also think there's something really nice about having a nice clean house.
I like no clutter. Like
no
I like
clutter.
I like a sterile environment.
Okay.
And so like that's my decor.
So it's just all white. It's like an insane asylum.
Operating room.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay. And they also give you those little jackets, right? The tie in the back when you walk in. Really fun.
It's called a straight jacket.
It's called a straight jacket. Tiege lives in a mental institution is what she's trying to tell
us. And I guess that's how I figured it out.
That's so cool. I love that.
Okay, our final story of the day, we have to talk about another outfit we were wearing.
Yes, millennials dressing business casual to go to the club. Also the club.
Hilarious.
I miss the club. I miss partying.
Me too.
Like I do. This was
Where's
what a
the
time.
club?
What a time to be alive. And it's actually interesting. So finally something that TikTok has recently forced millennials to confront is, so why do we dress like we had quarterly evening meetings at 9 and bottle service at 10? There's a whole conversation online right now about millennials going out uniform from back in the day.
It was crazy.
It was so crazy. The peplum tops, guilty. Statement necklaces, still wear statement necklaces.
Guilty.
The blazers, yes, I love a blazer. You're gonna get cold. Get a blazer. The skinny jeans, I'm now on the straight leg. I think skinny jeans are not really that flattering.
They're done.
The heels, I'm currently wearing heels. Okay,
Yeah.
So this feels like an attack. The enormous belt, I'm currently wearing. The nice top and jeans, literally wearing that Tiege. Is this like? Are you trying to confront me? Is this like an intervention? Like, come on this podcast. Let's go talk about your style that needs help. We weren't going to the office. We were going to Senior Frogs.
Yes. No, that's hilarious. In college, like we used to get dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
I looked like I was going into some sort of stock performance review,
Right.
and I was going to Chili's.
But also, we were coming from our jobs a lot of times. Like a lot of times we were, especially when I was, here in LA in my 20s, and I was coming from work where I had to wear business attire, and I was meeting my friends out for drinks or going to a comedy show or something like that.
It was pencil skirts
and
blouses, and blazers.
Yeah, and then Gen Z, on the other hand, they are into tiny tops, baggy pants, sneakers, vintage clothes, things often that look more casual.
They're cool.
So why are we getting dressed up like we are about trying to get promoted to assistant regional manager?
Because we were
trying. Maybe we were. That was what we were doing at our jobs.
We were trying.
I saw a TikTok. It was at the Roosevelt, the pool party that they have.
Oh, yeah.
And some girl was like, was like, oh, there's no standards anymore. And it was like video of these like poor people, like, and they were wearing that. They were dressed in baggy jeans. And I don't know. I think there's something nice about dressing up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there's something so fun about like really like taking pride in how you dress.
Totally.
And I
but
do,
sometimes I will say a baggy jean and a tank top
for
is very
senior frogs. Yes, that makes sense.
But I will say also, like, if that girl was making fun of people at the pool that looked like they were slouchy or whatever, I think that takes a lot of curation too. Like you have to find the right
baggy jean, the Hailey Bieber, the right crop top, like, and it has to hit at the right spot. And then like, how are we doing?
Yes,
also,
sometimes I appreciate those outfits.
And it takes more work to do clean girl makeup than it does to do a full beat.
True.
And you do use more products. I've seen these makeup tutorials. Why are we using 5 blushes? Like,
no,
there's a lot of stuff that goes into this.
Yeah, it
to look like you're not wearing makeup. I'm like, I'm just going to wear makeup.
Yeah, right.
It takes me less time.
Literally.
I got this down.
And that's the thing. And that's why millennials have it figured out, I guess.
No, but not real. I mean, we need to figure out how. But, you know, and the other thing is what we're not talking about is that millennials, when we were in middle school, when I was in middle school, I dressed like a secretary with the cardigans and the Tiffany choker and the bracelets and the earrings. And we all had bobs for some reason. Like, I looked older in the 8th grade than I currently do right now.
Yeah.
But that was the style. It was like the early aughts, like, you know. Like
no, 100%. I had like
style.
14 polos on.
So many popped collars.
Galore. They were layered. I looked like I was going to a golf tournament. Yeah. No, it was absolutely insane.
Then there was the Abercrombie, which I feel like flipped it on its head with the pop colors, but then you had the midriff. Then we got a little fun. We got a little fun.
But hey, by the way, Abercrombie's back.
It's back.
PSA.
It's back. And it's not the same.
It's great.
It's great.
Go get in there.
Go in there.
These pants, Abercrombie.
Cute.
Can you believe?
Cute. I know
it's insane.
I love it.
Anyways, thank you for being here, Gabi.
I love you. I love you. I love being on here.
We love you guys.
We love you. You're the best.
And if you could like and subscribe, we would so appreciate it. Oh my God, a comment? We would cry.
Let us know what you dressed like when you were going to your 9-to-5 corporate going out outfits. And do you still dress like that?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And are you making out? Let us know.
Please, in the comments.
Kiss and tell.
Kiss and tell. Bye.
Bye.